What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. And fix this fucking camera angle, make this shit square. I'm getting a lot of questions lately, specifically about judging criteria now that I've actually started the process of becoming an NPC judge. I've started test judging, which you do your test judging first, and then you get your judging card after that. And right after the first show that I judged, people automatically like, well, what are the judges looking for now? Let me first of all say something that sitting where the judges are sitting, you see things much differently than you do 4, 5, 6 rows back. 10 rows back, it's even different. 20 rows back, it's even different. You see specific things that are much more detailed. And, you know, that's why a lot of people get upset. They're like, oh, so-and-so should have won. And it's like, well, if you sat where the judges sat, you would have seen what they saw. And it's hard to understand unless you did it. I didn't really understand until I actually sat there and judged the show and concentrated on picking people apart and, you know, doing it so that, like, it was, you know, first through last place that we placed them. So that being said, you know, when you don't agree with the judging criteria, or the judges call, which sometimes happens, just remember that you didn't see what they see. I mean, there's always going to be people that are upset that they didn't win, or people that are there to see them that they're upset that their friend didn't win or their kid didn't win or whatever. But bottom line is, it really changed my view on what the judging criteria is. Now, that being said, balance, okay? If you're a bodybuilder, physique competitor, women's physique, even figure, okay? Classic physique, all that stuff. You're going to want to be as conditioned as you can possibly be, okay? Now, that means, you know, you're going to come in, you know, you don't have to come in strung out and stringy, but you want to be as conditioned as you can possibly be while still maintaining fullness and enough size. You don't have to be a giant, jacked beast, but enough size while being shredded. The one person with the better bone structure who has those qualities is probably going to beat the other people. That's just genetic. You know, you want somebody that's got the overall best look. Like Gary likes to say, razor sharp. Come in as razor sharp as you possibly can with those divisions. Bikini, you want to come in with enough muscle, but not too big. Hard, but not too hard. I have seen some of the calls go where the harder girls are winning. And I really do believe it's a matter of... personally, when I see these girls turn around and they walk, how much the glutes jiggle. It all comes down to the glutes because the rest of their bodies look great. But that glute jiggle, it's like you can have a little bit, but not too much. But you still got to have some firm glutes. And that's why they have them turn around and walk to the back of the stage and then walk back to the front and walk to the back of the stage. You're actually watching to see when they walk how much fat is on their glutes. So that's what they're looking for there. Now, I've had people ask me about tattoos. Now listen, I actually had someone say, or heard someone say, if you're a judge, you should be able to see past the tattoos. So if you can't do that, then you have no business judging. No, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard. I have full sleeves that are black sleeves. And now you can't even see the muscularity. I mean, in the lighting, you can see it where the delt is. But if I'm just standing there, you can't even see the delt and the tricep muscularity anymore at all. Are you supposed to imagine that as a judge and say, what's under that? That's like saying the guy that comes out with a film of water on him, you're supposed to imagine and look past the water. No, you didn't come out fucking dry enough. Guess what? You don't present it on stage, you don't win. So therefore, if you come out with tattoos and you're covering the muscularity, which is why I won't do classic physique, you have to have muscularity. With physique, it's not. It's all about the shoulder to waist taper, the posing, which is a front and back pose, the silhouette, balance. It's not about muscularity. If you're on stage and you're trying to do classic physique and you have tattoos that are going to obscure your muscularity, I don't care how much oil you put on, or I don't care how tan you get. When you go on stage, if you're standing next to someone else and you're hitting a back double bicep and you have sleeves like mine, that other person's arms are going to look better. And the judges shouldn't have to look past it and try to imagine what's underneath those tattoos. You didn't present it on stage. So maybe classic physique is not for you. So I stand out of it. Physique would be better. You know what I mean? Like, also, they don't want you to try to cover up the tattoos. Because when you cover up the tattoos with this stuff, it's like dermablend, it actually fills in and kind of makes like an opaque appearance. And it actually fills in some of the muscularity in the cracks and stuff, so it actually takes some muscularity away. So basically, I mean, if you're tattooed and you stand next to somebody that doesn't have tattoos and you're both the same muscularity, the other persons could show it better. And you know what? They're going to beat you on stage. And that's how that game is played. That's just a fact. A lot of people have tattoos nowadays. So, you know, let's say like at least 60% of the competitors have tattoos. So it's pretty even standing. Like this person has them there, this person has them there. So they're not really, they blur out as much on each person as the other one. So it's really not a big deal and they can figure it out. But I mean, I watched a guy I knew, you know, he won the Maryland one year. The guy he was competing against absolutely hands down had him beat. But when he hit his most muscular, his rear double bicep, his rear lat spread, he had these giant fucking tribal tattoos going down his arm. And although I knew the guy was fucking lean, because you see how shredded he was, you couldn't see the muscularity in his arms. His side chest was fucked up. Rear double bi was fucked up. I mean, you're looking at it going, fuck, without those tattoos, the guy could have won. And that's why I held off on getting tattoos until I was about fucking 38 years old. I got my sleeve tattoos because you can't see through the fucking black ink. And I get really frustrated where people say, well, the judges should know better. You are there to present a package on stage, to be seen on stage for that 10 minutes you're on stage, that minute. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like a week before, a week after. The judges shouldn't have to look past it or, look at you and say, well, he's not sucking his stomach in the right way, but if he did, he'd look really good, so I'm going to place him first. No, you don't suck your stomach in right. You don't fucking show your muscularity. You don't pose right. Guess what? You don't win. That's why you have to have all your ducks in a row when you're being judged. Posing is super important, which I had to learn the hard way, especially through physique. Like, bodybuilding posing I was always pretty good at right from the jump. But physique, front and back pose. Now, front and back pose, 50% of your score is your front, 50% your back. If you hit that back pose fucked up and the other guy hits the two right, guess what? You lose. I mean, it's just that simple. Figure, you get 4 poses, front, back, and your model poses. Bikini, you got your front and back pose, transition poses. Classic physique, you have your mandatories and your front and back poses. You have, your mandatories and regular bodybuilding and stuff. Learn how to do these things. Learn how to twist and turn a little bit, manipulate this pose to make you look your best. Because it doesn't matter what, when you stand on stage, if you think, oh, I'm hitting it just like Dorian Yates. You may not look like Dorian Yates. Well, nobody looks like Dorian Yates, but you may not look like him. So hit it so that it makes you look better. Try different ways. Get with a posing coach. Do these different things. Make sure that you are trying to peak on the day of the show at the time you're supposed to peak. This is another thing. Myself, I've missed my peak plenty of times. I've been better 2 days afterwards. And I'm like, fuck, looking at this, and I've had, other competitors go, where the fuck was that 2 days ago on stage? After they see it, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Like, everything that comes into that single day, balance, bone structure, muscularity, size, shape, and dryness. I mean, all those things count. And, when you walk on stage, you want to present all those things the best you can. Don't worry about what someone else looks like. Don't worry about what someone else said. You do the best that you can do. Because when you walk on stage, it's alone. You're alone. It's just you on stage standing next to the other people that are competing against you that want to make you lose. They want to win over you. They want to beat you. So, thinking about what your coach said and stuff, if you don't look in the mirror and you see, I'm my absolute best. If you're absolutely your best and you get beaten, there's no fucking shame in that whatsoever. But if you're not your best, if you're 80%, you get beat by a guy at his 80%, or even if he was 100%, that's your fault. You didn't get to 100%. So be aware, guys. The judging criteria, I know from show to show, there's different calls that go. But they also have the 7 judges. They drop the high and low score just in case, someone's like, oh, I really like that one. I don't like that one. And it's completely different than the other judges. They drop the high and low to make it more fair. So there is like a fail-safe in place to make sure that, it's fair. And I'll tell you right now, like, I went through the judging procedures and I did what I thought. I called them down the line the way I thought. And they were matching up with what the judges thought. It was very easy to see up that close when they came out on stage who was doing really well and who wasn't. Who hit their peak and who didn't. Who prepared and who didn't. Who had their tan on right and who didn't. All these things make a difference. A tan makes a difference. I mean, the color of your suit makes a difference. Like, everything. Your confidence makes a difference. The way you walk in your heels if you're a bikini competitor makes a difference. The way that you walk out on stage if you're a bodybuilder or a physique competitor, if you walk out on stage looking down, it makes you look not confident. Stand with your head up when you walk on stage. To hit your initial, your initial 5-second or 10-second routine before you do the call-outs. Like, there's so much more that goes into it that I think, people know about, but they're just not really, I've seen it at the shows lately. You get in there, you got maybe 3 or 4 people, or maybe 1 or 2 per class, but 3 or 4 people in the whole show that really look like they prepared. Like, they're really just prepared. Everything about them looks crisp. It's fucking professional. They nailed it. And everybody else is just kind of varying degrees after that, which comes from experience, comes from, having the right coach, all these types of things. So best of luck, you guys. The season is pretty much over for this year. We're heading into the end of it now. It's done here in the Maryland. Well, we got one more in Virginia, but Maryland's done for the year. And I'm looking forward to judging more shows next year. And being around the NPC, and the IFBB shows, and just absorbing as much as I could possibly learn. Biostreettraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostreettraining.com is a blog. It's the Judging Bicep, and we're out.